like the video.
I had been looking forward to him as much as any movie this year. A look into the dark side of football, a sports horror flick. Jordan Peele is in the building. He's on the job. The visuals in the trailer are looking nice and looking right. And then I went to watch the movie, and I left the theater like, Derapy. Him is a movie about Cameron's journey to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time. He comes from a family that loves football and is obsessed with it, especially his dad, who is insane. Cam and his dad and his fam are watching the league championship. That is definitely not the Super Bowl, because I guess they can't call it that because it's not the NFL, but it's still professional football. And Marlon Wayne's character, Isaiah White, one of the two main characters in this movie, is leading the, let me check my notes here, San Antonio Saviors to a league championship where he breaks his leg, like hard. Like so hard he breaks his leg. I've never seen a leg break like this. There's bone exposed.
Nasty work.
Cam's dad, who is crazy, is like,
we do not care.
The Saviors won the game, son. It doesn't matter if that man will never walk again. No guts, no glory. And he starts hyping up young Cameron. He's putting shoulder pads on him in the house, and he's slapping the pads, and he's like, that's gonna be you someday. Maybe you can break your leg like that and win the championship. Who are you?
I'm him.
Who are you?
I'm him.
Who are you?
I'm him.
The movie is called Him. So spoiler alert for like pretty much the whole movie, because I don't know how else I can talk about this. We fast forward a bit. We get a time skip, and Cam's dad is dead. Why? We do not know, and they will not tell us for a considerable amount of time. All we know is that his dad loved football and he wanted his son Cam to be the GOAT, and then he died during the time skip. So it's kind of hard to feel for him because we only spent like 2 minutes with the dude, and in those 2 minutes he saw a man's leg snap in half and he was just like, balled his life. Anyways, Cam is on a GOAT path. They're saying he's the greatest prospect ever. He's a beast. He's a GOAT in training. He's a young GOAT. He's the baby GOAT. But before he gets to the league, he has to perform at the combine. The NFL combine is where college athletes go to showcase their skills before the draft. Last chance to show the league what you got. And Cam is working out on a field by himself before the combine. But before he leaves, and this is where the movie gets kind of silly to me, he throws a ball at the goalpost. He hits the right upright. Bam, right on target. You love that. He throws it at the left upright, and bam, right on target. And then he's like, good day. He's about to leave the field. It's late at night. It's dark, but he notices the ball that he threw is spinning, and it just keeps spinning on the ground, and it won't stop spinning. And he's just staring at it, and we're staring at him staring at it, and then he just picks it up. And when he picks it up, he gets whacked in the head. Like, he gets bludgeoned by this, like, 7-8 foot, like, goat mask wearing monster human thing. And I'm like, okay, so he's dead? But instead of being dead, he goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you have actual brain damage. We have to staple your head shut. Your brain is swollen. I can't really advise you to play football anymore if I'm like being a real doctor. And he's like, but what if you weren't a doctor? What if you were a fan? And then like the scene just ends. Okay. So at this point, we're like 15-20 minutes into the movie probably, and I just feel like not a lot has happened yet. His dad died. We don't know why. His mom loves him. He has a girlfriend, but there's like I don't even remember the girlfriend's name. He has a best friend. He has a really annoying agent, and a few of these people are really annoying him while he's getting ready for the combine. He feels overstimulated. His phone won't stop going off, so he decides not to do the combine. And instead, he's just going to a party. And now at the party, he's smoking, he's drinking. I guess he's just done. There are like 2 jump scares at the party for no reason. There's nothing scary actually happening. It's just people bumping into each other and walking up on each other. Then he gets a call from his really annoying agent, and he says, hey, you know the greatest player in the history of this league? I have convinced him to mentor you, to coach you, to prepare you to potentially join the San Antonio Saviors as their new starting quarterback, because the GOAT might retire. So this is where the movie kind of actually starts. Isaiah White, who is Cam's role model, his idol, he invites him out to some like remote compound out in the middle of the desert so that they can train together to see if he has what it takes to be on the team. And this is where the movie kind of reminds you that you're just in a completely different world, I guess, because he gets to this remote compound that is for the athletes to train at. I don't know if it's like a training facility or if it's where the Saviors actually play, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And there are these like people that are painted white, but I guess they're just fans of the team. Like everybody looks like they're straight out of Mad Max. Like, what are they doing out there? How did they get out there? Like, are they living off the land? Why aren't they wearing clothes? Why are they painted white? We're not going to get answers to these questions. And you know what? That's okay. I mean, it's just meant to be scary, right? So Marlon Wayne's character, Isaiah White, initially he seems like, he wants what's best for Cam. He wants to train him. He wants to make sure that he's prepared to join the team, join the league, and be a good player. But very early on, things are weird. When he pulls up to the facility, the car he arrives in is being accosted by fans of Zay. Fans are screaming at the car, people painted in white. One specific chick spits on the window after like running into it, basically. I might have hit the U-turn right there. Like, I do not feel safe. Somebody please call my parents. I won't spoil the entire desert training experience, but I will say there are multiple points where I'm like, dude, at what point do you just say, hey man, there's gotta be a different way? The obvious highlight of this entire movie is Marlon Wayans' performance. It seems like he's just straight up putting his all into being like this really menacing, intense, freaky dude that is like committed to the idea that ball is in fact life. It's not a perfect performance because sometimes, Marlon Wayans is clearly doing his own thing. Like, he definitely has some freedom to ad-lib. And there are certain scenes where he's like being very intense and crazy, and then he does something kind of silly or goofy that kind of takes you a little bit out of the zone that you're supposed to be in. We're also introduced to Julia Fox's character, who we'll just call Mrs. White, because that's who she is. The character was made for her. I feel like they were just like, hey, yo, just be yourself and be seductive, and Cam really never actually gives into her, even though she's clearly there to just pretend to be a supportive figure, but ultimately groom him for a life of a famous athlete. Mr. White grooms him for the on the field stuff. Mrs. White grooms him for the off the field stuff. There's one scene where Zay threatens Cam, like, did you sleep with her? And Cam's like, nah, man, I got a girl. And Zay is like, you shouldn't care about women's feelings when trying to be great. And I just feel like there's some Tom Brady shade throughout a lot of this movie. Like, Zay has 8 championships, Tom Brady has 7. Tom Brady is infamous for putting football ahead of his wife, etc. He's obsessed with watching game tape, just like Tom Brady did. Half of Zay's conversations with Cam end with him saying that he's just going to watch some tape. The physical training at the compound is ridiculous and violent. Ridiculous when they're out running in the desert with weights on. Cam and Zay are, and Cam stops running and Zay keeps running, and he just leaves him there, just out in the middle of the desert. He's sick, and then he's just laying there, and he has no water, and there's no help, and there's no one out there, and it's like, I don't know. He could die. There's another scene where they're just firing footballs directly into a dude's face if Cam doesn't complete a pass, which is kind of crazy because he can only control how good the pass is. Like, he can't control the people catching it, so it's kind of crazy to punish some dude and then tell Cam that it's his fault. But it does kind of make sense because quarterbacks, they get all of the glory, but they also get all of the blame depending on the result of the game. And Isaiah White, Marlon Wayans' character, does a really good job of screaming that at Cam and at us. The days at the compound kind of drag despite being presented as different chapters. I would love for somebody to explain what those chapters really meant. It seemed like an interesting concept at first, but by the time we got to day 3, day 4, day 5, I was just like, okay, come on. We get random jump scares when Cam wanders through hallways and scenes where he's injected with human blood, which turns out to be Zay's blood, kind of against his will also. And me personally, you can only inject me with human blood probably once before I'm like, hey, ew, stop. I'm gonna go. You can't just keep sticking me. This is kind of all over the place. Okay, the movie concludes with 3 main parts.
Uno.
Cam is taken by Julia Fox to a party to meet the higher-ups of the team, the owners, the executives. He's kind of warned by the trainer at the party, but I'm pretty sure the trainer ends up getting sacrificed. I know that sounds crazy, but they show his head severed, but I don't know if that actually happens because Cam is hallucinating it or not. Cam drinks what appears to be blood when he's like yucking it up with the rich folk, and the whole scene is just edited so weird that like I don't actually know what's going on. Like I know it's meant to be like disorienting because like he's disoriented, but it's like is that what the blood is doing to him? Is that like, was he slip something? I don't know. But then we get dropped into this scene.
Dos.
So after a crazy night out with the owners and the blood drinking and the Julia Fox and the sacrifice of the trainer, Cam wakes up shirtless back at the facility. He's in football gear from the waist down, and he decides it's the optimal time to take out Zay, who is in a different room in the facility. He's watching tape, but the tape is just like fans that are cheering him on, and he's also shirtless, and he also has football gear on from the waist down. I don't know why. So initially, Cam tries to stab him, but he misses, and then they start like circling each other, like they're about to have a brawl and like a cage match. And at this point, my wife is laughing, and I'm like, this is pretty silly. Like these dudes at the end of this movie are just gonna end up just fighting. And Zay says Cam didn't earn his spot, he was just chosen, which is weird because they've been like training really hard, and Zay is always talking about training hard, and Cam's been training hard, but I guess it wasn't about the training, it was just about like him being chosen. But despite the fact that he was chosen, they still have to fight to the death because Zay still wants to be quarterback one. I won't spoil how the fight goes, but there are just some silly one-liners that are very unserious. So here's where the actual movie comes to its close.
Tres.
I heard the last scene was wild and some people hated it, and I see why. Like, I don't hate it. It just feels really obvious that they're just trying to wrap this up quickly, and they're like spoon feeding you what they think you're missing. Like, it ends with the owners and Cam's agent out on the football field. Basically, they're all dressed up in like wild animal masks, you know, there are goats involved. And they're basically just like, hey, yo, sign this contract. But it's pretty obvious by, you know, all the blood drinking and the goat mask and the decapitation at the party that this is not just about signing a football contract. You are signing your life over to them. And Cam, basically, after all he's been through, he's just like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. He's on his Miles Morales type beat. And the owner also hits him with the, do what you're told, boy. So you know he's got to air the place out. Like with a sword, with an axe, with some type of weapon, just basically murks everybody. Except for the agent, who he seemingly spares, but somehow he is like dragged by some force to the middle of a pentagram and then explodes. I know it sounds like I'm making it up. That's actually how it ends. This recap and review is all over the place, and I recognize that, but I think that's because the movie is, and honestly, while trying to find a way to talk about this, I got like tired halfway through it because either I'm dumb or this movie was a total mess. And I promise you, I wasn't blinking through like the whole film. Like I was there watching. They tell you in one of the final scenes that Cam's dad was actually sacrificed so that Cam could be the GOAT. But like, what was the trainer sacrificed for then? Also, like, why did Zay have to die too? And the agent says that they had him assaulted when he was out on the football field by himself to like, you know, get him to the compound, to isolate him. It was all part of the plan, which like, you know, like, duh. I didn't think that was like some random fan in a goat mask. Like I figured it was part of it's like the thing that started the plot going. Like it must have been you freaks. But if you remember the initial assault, it's like, how could they have possibly known that wouldn't have literally just killed him? Like dude literally just swung a weapon at dude's head, but whatever. Also, when Zay was training Cam, they were encouraging and celebrating head-to-head contact, so I'm just a little bit confused about like what Zay's role actually was. Isaiah White, it's like, was he actually grooming him to be the next GOAT, or was he trying to kill him? Like, I don't know. I know what they're going for. Like, the execution is just terrible in my opinion. Like, I get the sacrifice your body for the owner's profit. I get the football is like a religion. Like, they're talking about how, like, it's normally God, football, family, but to me, it's football, family, God. I get that football is like a religion. Like, the team is literally called the Saviors. They got them doing a whole bunch of like Jesus imagery. Like, I get it. At one point he's doing a like mock interview that it's kind of hard to tell whether it's like actually a real interview or if they're just like prepping him for one. But he's talking about how his dad died, and it zooms out and he's sitting at a table that looks like the Last Supper. Like, I get it, bro. Like, I promise I get it. Like, he's signing the contract, he's signing his life away. I just feel like there's something about the movie that's missing though. Like, something that was meant to tie more things together but didn't. Like, Marlon Wayans crushed, Tyreek Withers did what he could, but who was his character actually, besides someone who just wanted to be a great football player? I don't know. You let me know. If you've seen the movie or if you have any opinions that you would like to share, please comment. Tell me what I missed. Tell me what the point is. This is not a Jordan Peele movie. His people produced it, but he did not direct it. This is not Get Out. This is not Us. This isn't as good as Sinners, and it's not as good as Weapons. To me, it's like a decent to strong 4 out of 10. Some cool editing, some cool concepts, but a mess of a plot with odd pacing, some whack jump scares, and overall just left me feeling kind of let down. But by all means, tell me where I'm tripping, leave a comment. That's all I got for you today. Love you, mean it, spread the bread, enjoy the outro.
Crack in my windshield, I'm pissed off. If you a hater, get lost.
Get lost.
Yeah, it's my show and I'm in charge. Don't eat lemon pepper wings, but I'm the big boss. Please cut me slack, man, need a discount. About to jump off the roof, that's a dismount. I'm just playing. I'm okay.
Okay, but like, are you though?
Sorry for the pause, that's awkward. Start a podcast, cause I knew I was a talker. Yeah, my girl love me, but she's sick of my voice. And you know I'm pro-choice, so she do what she want. Why they hate when I get political? I'm a deep thinker, that's critical. Way too serious for a dude not getting paid. Man, I really need a shave. You know what sucks? Most of season 2 of Dave. Taking shots, but I skip out on the bar. Every single show, I swear I wanna raise the bar. Hope you listen close so you never miss the bar. Say the same thing, but I'm still going.